This is the most technical DLC character in this whole game. Infinity Castle Shinobu just came out, and CyberConnect 2 actually gave her an insane gimmick. Her skills change depending on whether the opponent is poisoned or not, and that includes giving her the option to detonate that poison. But more importantly, they finally fixed her air dash, bro. I could not handle another character floating around. My name's Globku, and this is the Shinobu DLC review for Demon Slayer 2. This video is brought to you by King Ice. When they reached out to sponsor a video, the first thing I did was, as always, look at their website. I saw they had a bunch of cool collabs with Persona, Street Fighter, Sonic, but the first thing I thought was, this can't be real. Like, there's no way. And you know what they did? They just sent it. It's very real. This is the Iced Millennium Ring, fully iced out on both sides, 14 karat gold plated, and hundreds of hand-set brilliant cut stones. I can't even begin to count. There's so many of them. This is an officially licensed Yu-Gi-Oh! And King Ice collaboration. It's an incredible recreation of the Millennium Ring, but that's not all, because they also sent me this. Yeah, that's the Millennium Puzzle right there. Look at the link chain, bro. Even the chain is iced out. Once again, 14 karat gold plated with hundreds of hand-set brilliant handstones on all sides of the puzzle. I'll say it, this is the most faithful recreation of the Millennium Puzzle that you can actually wear without breaking your neck. I don't know how Yugi does it. Wait, does it actually open? It does! Wait, that's sick. If you want to get your own, go to kingice.com/Globku, and you can use code Globku for a 10% discount on anything you want to buy. Link down below, and thank you King Ice for sponsoring this video. Shinobu shares the same stats as the base character. She has a level 3 dash speed, but takes a lot of damage with a 1.2 times damage multiplier. A level 3 dash speed can always mix you up with a dash stance in neutral, and that's especially the case with Shinobu, thanks to her incredible normals. Look at this jab, bro. This thing has so much reach. Her lunge might actually rival Rui's reach, I'm not gonna lie. It goes really far. But it also comes at a cost. If you start a combo with a lunge instead of a normal jab, it will actually deal less damage. But while we're at it, this is her neutral combo. This is her up combo. And this is her down combo. If you boost, this is her boosted finisher. And while we're here, we might as well see the surge animation. The insane reach isn't limited to her ground jab, her jumping attacks also reach really far, and they hit very close to the ground. This is gonna make some combo conversions a lot easier. The dive, on the other hand, is pretty standard, so is her grab. I would say it's actually very similar to the base Shinobu. This one seems to move a lot more, but she's grabbing with her hand, not the tip of her sword. Her heavy is really interesting. She completely vanishes. She's doing a light centipede here, and it's extremely fast. I think it might actually be a great anti-zoning tool. But on top of that, if you are in boost, the heavy attack actually poisons the opponent. Neat. And I've already said it in the intro, but for real, the air dash isn't floaty anymore, and that is such a blessing. With that said, let's check out her skills, because that's where her gimmick is. Shinobu has a bee sting, a dragonfly dash, and an armored horsefly move. All three of her skills apply poison to the enemy, and all of them become buffed if the opponent is already poisoned. Plus, applying poison a second time makes it so the poison damage applied is bigger. You're basically stacking two poisons on top of each other. Her skill button is Dance of the Bee Sting, and it's a pretty fast stabbing move. Mostly a combo tool from what I can see. Landing this gives you a free combo. In fact, you have so much time after landing this that you can just jump for free and start an air combo after landing it. If the opponent was already poisoned, the bee sting is gonna pop them up into the air, where you can follow up with a dash for free, or just jump up yourself for a more optimal combo. On block, this move is completely unsafe. I've tried making it safe by canceling into jumps or dodges, but the cancel comes out too slow. I always got punished. The only way to make it safe on block is to tag, so it's a very dangerous move to apply pressure with, but an easy one to combo with. Next, her tilt skill is Dance of the Dragonfly, and it's a dashing move that will go through the opponent. Once again, it gives you a free combo on hit and pops the opponent up if they were already poisoned. But this time, if you dash or jump, it will cost you an extra bar of meter. You can always continue the combo for free on the ground though. This does look like it would be a good neutral tool, however, I don't like the tracking and the move's hitbox is way too small. It feels very easy to miss with it. That said, you can play a bit of mix-up neutral since you can dodge cancel it for an extra bar of meter. It's usually pretty safe on block, but mostly because of the distance, meaning you gotta be careful using this near walls. And then we have her guard skill, which is Dance of the Horsefly. This is an armored move. Shinobu jumps up and unleashes this flurry of attacks. You can increase the damage and travel distance by holding down the button, and it applies poison on hit. But if the opponent already has poison, it will basically explode it, converting that poison into instant damage. On block, this move is unsafe. Period. There is nothing she can do, you can just punish her, it is free. I know, given this game's track record, that's insane, but it's true. This mostly feels like a combo finisher since it detonates the poison, but it also gives you a free combo on hit, so if you land this, don't forget to keep it going. As an assist, her neutral skill, the V-Sting, is probably my favorite since it has a decent reach and puts the opponent into a crumple state on hit. The tilt assist, however, has the same problems as the tilt skill, so it misses opponents more often than it hits them. I don't think Shinobu is a great assist, to be honest, but those are her skills. Let's check out her ultimates. Shinobu has 2 ultimates to choose from, although only one of them is new. The good news is the ultimate activation is incredible this time around. A really long range dash that does this when it hits. She still has a team ultimate with Murata and with Gyu, but they are the exact same animation as before. That's all Shinobu can do, so let's make some combos. Before we even get started, CC2 finally added poison damage to the combo damage display. It doesn't count all the poison damage, it only counts the poison damage that you're dealing while the opponent is in a combo, which, fair enough, you don't know if they're just gonna switch characters after getting up. But this is her combo for 2 bars of meter. Now, sometimes you'll catch the opponent in a combo and they are already poisoned. When that happens, you gotta adapt, but that's a good thing because for 2 bars on a pre-poisoned opponent, you can get a lot more damage. And if you want to spend 3 bars of meter, you can go for something like this. If you're trying to land an ultimate, you can do it after any enhanced skill. They all pop up the opponent pretty well, just like this very practical combo. Shinobu's game plan really revolves around her poke. The mid-range is where she's gonna shine the most, to play footsies with her opponent because she can outrange most of the cast with that insane lunge, or even a regular jab. I've caught so many people by just push blocking them and hitting the jab button. At the same time, because her attacks are so big, they'll try to push block me, but my follow-ups will still catch them. The problem for Shinobu starts when she's further away. Against most of the cast, she still has a level 3 dash speed to dominate, but her tilt skill will easily lose to some of this game's more powerful neutral tools. Many characters have bigger moves that will simply win against this. In fact, even if you don't have one of those moves, her tilt skill is very easy to dodge. Most of the time, it'll just do it by accident. So if you find yourself far away as Shinobu, I definitely recommend relying more on the dash and the heavy attack. On block, she simply has no pressure. 2 of her skill moves are unsafe with no cancel options to keep the pressure going, and the other skill is safe but loses the turn to the opponent. You can always threaten to break their guard with a throw or an assist into heavy, but my guard health never felt threatened when playing against a Shinobu. Her combo game is sick though, and requires a lot of awareness from you, as the routes can change depending on whether the opponent is poisoned or not. The properties of her skill moves change completely, so make sure you commit her routes to your muscle memory so you can focus your attention on the opponent's state instead of which buttons you need to press. I love this DLC. CC2 finally stepped out of their safe space and made an actual character gimmick. She may not be the flashiest of all the DLC, but she does have a lot of substance. Actually, I love that she's not as flashy as some of the previous characters. This game got really noisy thanks to some of the previous DLC, and she's still got some really cool particle effects, but outside of her skills, they are a lot more subtle. And yet, they get the job done perfectly without obscuring the game too much. I also like that they were brave enough to make a more technical DLC. She's not easy to play. Playing footsies with a lunge is not for every level of player. She doesn't have an ignorant neutral option. Her armored move is actually punishable this time around. Her combo routes change depending on whether the opponent is poisoned or not. All of this is going to demand a lot of skill from the player using her, and at the same time, she's going to have to play against characters that have those ignorant options, and that will get rewarded for doing half the work that she does. So she may feel a bit weak at times, depending on the matchup. But I'll take a DLC like this 100 times over another guard skill merchant. She actually brings something new to the game, and it's awesome to see CC2 stretch their creativity in gameplay design like this. And that's my review for Infinity Castle Shinobu. If you've had the chance to play her, let me know what you thought of her in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out today's sponsor, King Ice. Check the link in the description and use code Globku for a 10% discount. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.